Like Neo in The Matrix, Arnold in The Terminator, and Kasparov versus Deep Blue, I will be taking on the machines in the highest skill competition that currently exists, Rank Roulette. This is the trailer episode of Season 5, in which I will fight for humanity against the smartest opponent yet, ChatGPT.
Welcome back to another season of our beloved show, Rank Roulette. The game where we dive into the wild world of StarCraft 2, watch some mystery games, and then try to guess the player's rank. From Bronze League shenanigans to Grandmaster finesse, anything is possible. I am very excited to be here and guess your replays.
Toss started with a Reaper wall, pretty high level move. Adept is gonna go across the map, try and clear this SCV. No bunker, single Reaper into reactor. And then the low ground command center. This is risky, but I'll allow it because he went for a fast cyclone as well. It's gonna clear this up. This feels like a decent level of play to me, although the cyclone micro here was fairly mediocre. It's going for the wall. That's exactly what Clem would do as well. A lot of money in the bank for both players. 600 minerals, 5 minutes in. Not a great look. Also here, the easiest thing to do is just go for a pickup instantly. Like a top level player would have done that much quicker. It's 4-gate Blink, but Blink isn't done yet. Despite the game already being 5 minutes in. Late Raven harass, Prism finishing 540, and a Stargate as a follow-up. Okay, I think I'm taking back my my high level plays here. This is really weird. Going Robo Twilight into a late Stargate when you already have Blink. That just kind of screams incompetence to me. I'm not sure like what level of incompetence, but it's not great. And this move out also is weird. Okay, I take back the high level stuff. I'm very sorry, but not having charged 9 minutes into the game, flying around with a Prism and a bunch of Stalkers just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, to be honest. Third base already done. All right, this is pretty rough. So I initially thought this was going to be much higher level, but that was mainly just because of the Reaper wall and the fact that the Terran had something that resembled a build order. I think overall the execution wasn't great. The general thought was there, but the execution and the finer details weren't quite. So I'm gonna guess that this is about Masters 3. Let's see what ChatGPT has to say about it.
Based on the replay provided, here's an analysis to help determine the likely rank of the Terran player. The Terran player's Reaper was well timed, but they couldn't get much information due to the Protoss Reaper wall. This shows that the Protoss opponent had a solid early game, which is common across all ranks but well executed by those in higher tiers. Both players floating over 500 minerals at times during the opening suggests that their macro wasn't perfectly sharp. This level of resource management is often seen in Gold to Platinum leagues where players understand the importance of macro but may struggle with multitasking or have moments of inefficiency. The Terran's multi-pronged harassment indicates an understanding of how to pressure Protoss, which is typically seen in mid to high Platinum. However, the slow pickup of Marines during the drop suggests some hesitation or slower decision making. The Protoss forgetting to research charge is a significant mistake, as it heavily impacts the effectiveness of Zealots. The Terran seems comfortable in defensive scenarios, but the Protoss's mistake makes it hard to judge the Terran's true level. Considering the overall execution, the Terran showed good strategic understanding with their harassment attempts and decision making, but the slower execution and macro inefficiencies suggest they are still refining their skills. Platinum 3 players often have the strategic mindset but still lack the polish and quick execution seen in higher Platinum or Diamond players. Thus, Platinum 3 is a reasonable guess for this Terran player.
Alright, make that make sense, GPT. Saying a macro inefficiencies and not perfect control. Sure, all of these things were true, but I think the general concept is much more important. And maybe you're very smart, but you're lacking that fine-tuned, that intuition that us humans have and that you perhaps lack. Hamster, spin the wheel and prove me right. Ooh! It's just both just as far off. It's not a great start, especially given how confident I was here. So Rough, but let's hop into our second game and see if I can... Oh my god, this was terrible. I want to retry. It's been too long. It's been too long. I want to go again, please. Before we getting to round number 2, don't forget to send in your own replays if you want to see them in this season of Rank Roulette. Use the form in the description down below, fill it in, and perhaps we'll be witnessing your beautiful gameplay in the weeks coming. Thanks. This looks like a very weird game. It's a drone rush, but both players know how to drone drill, which is an advanced maneuver. You don't see this in the lower leagues. There's a hatchery going up. I bet there's still some drones mining on the blue side of things. This is really weird, yeah. Why is there no pool yet? That's the thing that worries me. I mean, can you outmine your opponent with this? Theoretically, that should be impossible, because you can just use as many drones as your opponent pulled to deal with your opponent's drones, and that's how you should be doing this. So red should not be capable of losing, but is down 4 workers. At the same time, does have a hatchery and a pool coming up, so... And this should just suck. It's really rare to see a drone rush being executed. Wait, there is a pool. There is a pool, and now an Evo chamber, triple spine. I don't think I've ever seen a spine rush executed like this. The response out of the red Zerg is just pretty mediocre. The full cancel on the spines is also very weird. Now we have a triple Evo chamber block into a double spine rush. This is, I have to admit, this is one of the more confusing games that I've seen in my life.
A queen's just been born.
They would say in chess, this game is completely unique. And this game was completely unique fairly early on as well. You have 6 spines, 2 Evos. Alright. This is honestly a very rough guess, because the drone drilling isn't easy. It was done at a relatively okay level, but then the responses against everything else were mediocre. And it felt like the thinking was pretty mediocre too. So this feels like a lower skill level than last game, but I shouldn't underestimate the chaos that this type of stuff, you know, it brings to people's heads. So I will go lower, but not that much lower. I'm gonna go to Platinum 1. That's my guess.
Both players' understanding and execution of drone drilling, a technique where workers are stacked to move through units or buildings efficiently, indicates a relatively high level of micro skill. This is generally considered an advanced maneuver, often seen from Platinum and above players. The Blue Zerg's decision to follow the drone rush with a spine crawler rush shows a good understanding of how to transition aggression effectively. The use of evolution chambers to block the red Zerg's drones from stopping the spine crawlers is a smart tactical move, further suggesting a player who thinks strategically and adapts well to the situation. Despite the aggressive opening, the Blue Zerg was ahead in economy, which suggests they were able to balance aggression with macro making him appear higher rank, especially since he showed persistence and the ability to adapt and overcome defensive measures, characteristics of a more experienced player. Based on these observations, I would place the Blue Zerg player in Platinum 1. The use of advanced micro techniques like drone drilling, combined with strategic decision-making and effective economic management, suggests a player who is solidly within the higher tiers of Platinum.
Not gonna lie, I feel like the reasoning here from our good friend GPT sucks, but he got to the same answer as I did, so can I really knock it till I rock it? I don't think so. Hamster, spin the wheel. Masters 1? What? I'm getting blindsided here. Maybe I should take off my sunglasses for the next round. I'm not seeing the colors clearly. It confuses me. Been handicapping myself here, but the honor of humanity is on the line, so we'll take it serious from here on out. Alright, what is this? Reaper control. Don't mind if I do. Pretty decent Reaper control, by the way. That hatchery timing is perfect. I think? No, it isn't actually. That's a weird hatchery timing. I take back what I said. I mean, it is good. It's just not perfect. Hey, there should be links here. There should be more queens here. Queen's not in position against Reaper Heli and harass is definitely a mistake. Now building spines rather than spores is also weird. This attack is also weird. I mean, these are once again kind of realish strategies, but not really. Like there's so many holes here in the execution. And there's quite a bit of cash in the bank, but I feel like if you just play 1-1 Roach every single game as a Zerg player, you probably can get pretty far because the Roach it's a brain dead unit, you know? This guy's Marauders though defensively. Mines, Lips, no medevacs. Wow, this is so hard to guess for me. Out of practice. Very out of practice. If the Zerg manages to throw this, I will be impressed, by the way. Walking up a ramp could do it, but I think it's fairly unlikely. And there come two Liberators as well. Phenomenal stuff. There go the tanks, there go the Lib. Yeah, okay, that's game. So a 1-1 Roach timing. Mediocrely executed. But okay micro, though. Absolutely okay micro. And a build order that almost made sense. To me, this feels like this was higher level than the last game, but last game was Masters 1. It was higher level than what I thought the last game was. So I think it's between Masters 2 and Plat 1, and then I'm going to guess Diamond 1 as my final guess. Send it in.
Zerg players' attempt to mimic professional strategies suggests they are likely familiar with high-level play, but may lack the refined execution that comes with experience. This would suggest they are in the mid to higher ranks, where players often try to replicate pro strategies but may struggle with the precise timing and control required. For instance, indicated by the struggles to position units correctly against the Hellion harass. Despite the earlier struggles, the Zerg manages to execute a decent 11 Roach timing attack and win with a massive supply lead. They understand the importance of hitting specific timings and can capitalize on an advantage. The player exhibits traits of someone who is developing their skills by learning from professional games, which is common in Platinum. However, the inability to perfectly replicate those strategies and the poor reaction to harassment indicate they still have areas to improve before reaching Diamond. Platinum 2 is a reasonable estimate as it represents a player who is competent but still working on refining their overall game.
Wow, in an unexpected turn of events, GPT with the middle of the road, Platinum 2, saying it's a reasonable estimate. I think it's a reasonable estimate too, but I also think that the reasonable estimate is wrong. And Hamster is here to prove it. Spin the wheel, buddy. Spin it. For humanity! There we go, baby. Now we're hitting it. This absolute no-risk loser is being wiped off the face of the earth. Go get him. Alright, next one. Alright. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, this is smelling like a Platinum 2 game if I've ever seen one. It's good control here on the Adept. Reaper also hitting that nade. This is good. This actually is good. Yeah, I'm loving this. Because this is a build that looks low level, double robo proxy, but is actually played at higher level sometimes. And when I say higher level, I mean like Grandmaster. Like this is a difficult build to execute. The other guy's playing Reaper into Immortals. The execution, however, is really bad. Maybe I want to take back the fact that this is a higher level build. So this is a build that I've been playing quite a bit myself as well in the past, sometimes with good success. Obviously, Marauders are not the counters to Immortals, by the way. Pulling some SCVs here would be fantastic. If you get a single Viking out, you're banging, by the way. Like, the Prism is useless, you can get a tank with it, and this doesn't do anything. So this is like a really risky build, with a relatively high skill ceiling to execute with. But that skill ceiling, that is not being met right now, okay? We're still on the first floor of this multi-story building with the high skill ceiling. The battery in the back also isn't achieving a lot. I don't understand how you can float 700 minerals, which he was doing about 5 seconds ago, while you're on one base. That is a minute of mining there, like 50 seconds of mining. Still gonna win, so this Terran is worse. This is actually a rough one because I think with all-ins you can get pretty far. We saw a Reaper into a 1 base 3 Rex, which also means you can go pretty far. I'm actually tempted to go for a Platinum 2 here. But, because I don't want to say the same thing, which I expect our good friend GPT to do, I'm gonna go a little bit... Do I want to go lower? I don't believe it to be lower. Actually, I'm gonna go for Plat 3. I think this is Plat 3 or Gold 1. You know what? Gold... No, Plat 3. Plat 3. I'm gonna guess Plat 3. Your turn next, GPT.
The double proxy robotics facility strategy is quite aggressive and requires a good understanding of timings and execution. Although it's not a typical build for high-level play due to its reliance on catching the opponent off guard. The Terran's defensive execution was not perfect. For example, the bunker was taken down and Immortals killed before the bunker died. Mediocre warp prism control and floating money are signs of less experienced play, especially for a 1 base all-in. This might not be the highest skill level. Based on the clips you've provided and the typical characteristics of player performance, I'd guess Platinum 2. While ambitious, the double proxy robotics facility indicates the player is experimenting with strategies and might not yet be executing them perfectly. Building a bunker and multiple barracks shows a solid understanding of defense, but if it wasn't entirely effective, the Terran player could be in a lower league where their defense isn't optimized, typical of the lower end of the Platinum League.
And as always, GPT defaulting to the easy solution, middle of the road, Platinum to a pathetic performance here. Hamster, just spin the wheel and take this poor machine out of its misery, just like Arnold and Neo and Gary Kasparov. What? Nah, piss off. It's a draw? Oh my god. Human and man are equal. Oh, sorry, human and man are equal. Human and computer are equal. Oh my god. Well, what does they say again? Even a broken clock is right twice a day.
I think I am very happy with this result. I did not want to demotivate Harstem by completely destroying him, so I was aiming for a close and exciting loss. After all those side swipes, I could not really let him win though.
Pathetic performance, honestly, by the AI. With its all-knowing power, is drawing against me. I can't even read, so I count this as a win for me. And a win for humanity. We weren't sending our best, and they were. Next time we send in Cyril, all right? And that is going to be the end of this episode. But before I leave you, please don't forget to send in your replays if you want to see your own gameplay back in this season of Rank Roulette, which is going to be starting very shortly. Be sure to leave it down in the description below. There's a form, click it, fill it in, send in the replay. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I hope you all are too. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, humans, we do it better. Ciao, ciao.